Have you ever had that feeling deep in your gut that you are not alone, even when you should be? That chilling sensation when the hairs on your arms stand up for no reason? Tonight, we're diving headfirst into that feeling with 3 terrifying, true-life ghost encounters that will make you question what's lurking in the shadows. These stories are brought to life with animation, so you can see the horror for yourself. Turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Our first story comes from a woman named Sarah, who worked the late shift at a historic downtown library. The building was beautiful, but old, with long, shadowy aisles and a history of strange occurrences. Most nights were quiet, just the hum of the lights and the rustle of turning pages. But one Tuesday, things changed. Sarah was in the archives, a section in the basement rarely visited by the public. As she was filing old newspapers, she heard a faint sound from the far end of the aisle. A soft, rhythmic thumping. Thump, thump, thump. She called out, thinking it was her co-worker, but got no reply. The sound stopped. Shrugging it off, she went back to work. A few minutes later, it started again, closer this time. Thump, thump, thump. Her heart began to race. She slowly peeked around the towering shelf. The aisle was empty, but then she saw it. On the dusty floor, a single set of wet footprints, leading from the far wall and stopping right in the middle of the aisle, as if someone had just vanished into thin air. She backed away slowly, her eyes wide. As she turned to run, she heard a whisper, right in her ear, a cold, raspy voice that said, She didn't wait to hear more. She sprinted out of the archives, up the stairs, and didn't stop until she was out on the street, gasping for air under the city lights. She never went back to the basement alone again. Next, we traveled to a quiet suburban home, where a family of 4 had just moved in. Mark and his wife were thrilled. It was their dream house. But their 6-year-old daughter, Lily, seemed uneasy from day one. She started talking about her new friend, a boy named Thomas who lived in her closet. At first, her parents thought it was just a typical imaginary friend. They'd hear Lily laughing and chatting away in her room. But then, things got weird. Lily would tell them things Thomas had said, details about the house's previous owners that she couldn't possibly know. One evening, Mark was putting Lily to bed. She pointed to the closet and said, Thomas is sad tonight. He says he misses his mummy. Mark, trying to be a good dad, played along. Well, why is he sad? He asked. Lily's face grew serious. Because she left him here, in the walls. A chill ran down Mark's spine. The next day, they found an old, faded photograph tucked away in the attic. It was a picture of a little boy, standing in front of their house, dated 1952. On the back, written in faint cursive, was the name, Thomas. That wasn't the worst part. Later that week, while doing some minor renovations, Mark knocked down a section of drywall in Lily's closet. Behind it was a small, hollow space, empty except for a single, worn-out child's shoe. They moved out a month later. Our final story tonight comes from a group of college students who decided to explore an abandoned asylum on the outskirts of their town. You know, for fun. The place was notorious, with stories of patient mistreatment and a grim history. Armed with flashlights and a camera, they snuck in through a broken window. The air inside was heavy and cold, thick with the smell of decay. They explored the decaying wards, their laughter echoing eerily through the empty halls. It was all fun and games until they reached the 3rd floor, the former long-term patient wing. That's when one of them, a guy named Ben, started feeling sick. He said he felt an intense pressure on his chest, like someone was sitting on him. The others laughed it off, telling him he was just spooked. But then his flashlight started flickering wildly before going out completely. In the sudden darkness, they heard a blood-curdling scream. It wasn't from any of them. It was a woman's voice, filled with agony, and it seemed to come from right inside their group. They panicked, scrambling for the exit. As they ran, the guy with the camera, Jake, was filming their escape. It wasn't until they were safely back in their car, hearts pounding, that they dared to watch the footage. Everything was shaky and dark. But in the final few seconds, as the camera pointed back down the hallway they'd just fled, a figure was visible. A tall, gaunt woman in a tattered hospital gown stood at the far end of the hall, her head tilted at an impossible angle, just watching them. Her face was a blur, but her eyes, they seemed to glow in the dark. They deleted the footage, but the image is burned into their minds forever. 3 stories, 3 chilling encounters with the unexplained. What do you think? Were these overactive imaginations, or glimpses into a world that exists just beyond our own? Let me know your thoughts and your own creepy experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed these animated horror stories, make sure to like and subscribe for more spine-chilling content. Sleep well.